Good evening, everyone. I'm Jack Cronin. You're very welcome to the 8th episode of All Things Football. I'm joined live here by Aaron Doran. He's an attacker with Inverness. So delighted to have him on. Aaron, how are you?
Brilliant. Delighted to be on. Hopefully it's a good episode.
Good stuff. Really appreciate you taking that time out. How's things in general? All the virus and stuff like that. How are you adapting to life without it?
It's been a while now, and I think lockdown has lasted a bit longer over here than with you, I think, because we're still basically in lockdown. There's not much open. Yeah, and obviously it's a bit boring not having training and stuff like that. But
yeah,
been trying to keep occupied. I've been playing a bit of golf and stuff, so not too bad.
Little Rory McIlroy, maybe, no?
No chance. Awful. Terrible.
Good stuff. We'll get cracking. What age were you when you started playing football? What club did you start out with?
I can't really remember how young I was, but like early it was anyway, because I lived in Inchicore at the time, and there was a tarmac football pitch right outside me window, so I was always playing. And then the first club I played for was St. John Bosco.
Oh, like myself, so.
Was it, yeah. Went there, I was only there for about a year, and then signed for St. Pat's because I supported them. I was a ball boy for them at the time as well, so it was good. I got free passes to go to the games when I signed for them.
Very good. Majority of kids, when they start playing football, no matter what age they are, like you'd ask 8 out of 10 players that start playing football, that they want to be the next Robbie Keane or they want to become professional. Was that a case with you, or what was your situation? Were you just playing football when you were young for enjoyment, or was it something that you thought you could go really far with?
Definitely at first it was just for enjoyment. Like, I'd play every day. I remember I'd wake up in the morning, I'd look out the window, see what the weather was like, just so I could go out and play football. And then I actually remember a teacher asked me in primary school, what you want to be when you're older. And I remember telling him, like, I want to obviously be a professional footballer. So it was on my mind from early doors, to be honest.
Yeah. What was the teacher's reaction now when you told him that?
Yeah, I don't think he had any belief in me, to be honest. But
I think it's a typical reaction, though, isn't it? When you say something like that to a teacher, they kind of nearly laugh at you, don't they?
Definitely, you hear it all the time with people coming out with percentages of people that have made it and percentages of people that haven't made it. So there's always doubt there, but if someone really wants it and if they enjoy playing the game, I'm sure if they keep doing what they're doing, they'll get there eventually.
Yeah, that's a good point there now that you covered. I would have seen you play a good few times back in your Crumlin days. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Like, you played in a quality team, like just name a couple of players offhand, like Connor Clifford, Richie Tell, Andy Boyle. How much did you enjoy them days playing in that team?
Yeah, really good. Like I said, I played for St. Pat's, and I actually gave a fake age to St. Pat's, so I was playing a year above.
Oh, really?
And I thought it was a banger, like, so I was nervous about them catching me out. And then I moved to Drimna, and I was just out playing with football with a few of the lads from Drimna. And one of their dads was the manager at Crumlin, so he approached me, and I'm like, I'm playing a year older, so he thought for the next few weeks, I can't sign him, he's too old. But
yeah,
eventually I actually went to him and said, like, listen, I'm a year younger than what I'm playing at. So I think that helped me a bit. And then I ended up signing for Crumlin before, like, Connor Clifford, Andy Boyle and all that. It was Richie Tell was there before me, obviously, but then John Bulger came in, and he brought all them in. So then we had a top side. I think at one stage we had 11 underage Irish internationals in the side. I mean, we were winning everything. We were winning All Ireland's, the league, every year, and they were all getting trials to go away to England and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a top quality side.
Yeah, that's excellent. I didn't know there was that many. 11. Jeez, that's serious amount of players. My God.
It was as I said, it was a top side, and you can see from the players they've all had a decent professional career. So it was a good side, and as I said, we won a lot of stuff, and that helped all, like, going across the water.
Yeah. you've had a good underage international career, I suppose you could say, with the caps you've had and stuff. What's it like playing in that jersey and like representing your country?
Yeah, something I can't describe. Like as I said, I used to go to the Pats matches and stuff, and there was some like underage matches that I would go and watch there, and it's just I had a strange feeling watching them games. Like I wanted to be involved in them, and eventually I got there. Like I played from under 15s all the way through to 21s. Like obviously haven't got to the senior cap, which is disappointing. But yeah, it's a privilege to play for your country, and it's a strange feeling you get inside. Like it's a very proud moment, and like
Yeah.
you're going away to Holland when you're 15 years old to play against them. So yeah, it's hard to describe how you feel, but yeah, it's a good honor, and had some great times over the years, like all the way up.
You mentioned previously then as well that a lot of that Crumlin team would you have been playing like for Crumlin and then going playing internationally with some of them lads as well?
Yeah, the first internationals was under 15, so we were all still basically playing for Crumlin, like me, Richie, Conor Clifford, and Andy Boyle, and players like that. So there was loads of us, so it was easy for us to step into the Irish setup because we all knew each other. And then
Mm-hmm.
obviously there was other players from down the country, like your Jared Cunninghams and players like that. So and even who else was it? Conor Hurdahan, who's at Aston Villa now. So we
Oh,
had a
really?
good side, and we were pretty successful as well. So yeah, it was good.
Um, you're playing for Crumlin, playing underage international then as well. A lot of clubs are interested in you from across the water. Blackburn is the club. How did that come about? And I'm sure there was more than one club interested, but what made you choose Blackburn in the end?
Yeah, I was away on a trials at a few clubs. I was at Tottenham, Man City, Celtic, and a few others, and then even a few others asked to sign me, like without even going on trial. I had like letters from clubs, like, and we were ringing my mum and dad asking them to come over and like have a look around and stuff. So it was a
Yeah,
pretty surreal time from it, like a lad from basically Inchicore and then moving to Drimnagh, like to be going on these trials with my man and dad actually
yeah.
we were in the directors suite at Tottenham watching them play against Man United. So it was really strange. But I think the major decision for me was Gavin Gunning, who was playing with me at Crumlin, had just signed for Blackburn, and I've been over there 2 times before that, and then I was going again, and he came up to me, the coach, and he just said like, "We really want to sign you." And I said, "I'd probably be interested in signing here because the facilities and everything is brilliant, and then where you stay is on site in the training ground, so all the youth teams stay together, and
Oh,
I preferred that, and I thought I'd be obviously less homesick with that, and with Gavin Gunning there with me from the
mhm.
start. So that was a major decision. I didn't really want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere in digs with a family. So Gavin and the digs basically, and then I thought I had a good chance of breaking through. Well, if I done well enough, like, and
Yeah,
obviously I got close to the first team, so I think it was the right decision in the end.
yeah. I would have, me personally, now I wouldn't have never thought of well, not that I would have never thought, but I'd never really like take into account like because I've talked to a few lads now that have been away and like the digs is kind of a big part of how they weren't successful, you know. So like, I'm not saying, but like the small things like knowing someone or like a small thing like having a digs like kind of in the training facility and everyone's together is it's a massive kind of thing, isn't it? When you think about it, like
Massive, because I was 15, I think, when I moved away. Like I moved away a year earlier than like most lads do move away because they said that they wanted us over that early and it would benefit us. Like we couldn't play for the youth team at that stage for the whole season. We could play a 6 week trial period for the under 16s, but we still got to train every day, like get stronger physically with the gym work. And I think it was the right decision because it put us ahead of the people that come in the next season. Like me and Gav went into the under 18s and we were flying. Like I ended up that season as top scorer, and then he as well. He had a great season because we both moved to reserves before even finishing our first year with under 18. So
oh,
I
okay.
think that put us ahead of people.
Mm. Um, tell us a little bit about then your experience at Blackburn then as a whole. So how you kind of found things on the pitch, then off the pitch, and kind of as a whole, really in general.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it was good. I moved pretty quick from like youth team to reserves, and then from reserves to training with the first team every day. Obviously, it was tough because you want to impress so much, and then like if you have a bad training session, like they get on you. They don't. They'll come at you like they want the best, like of the
Mm-hmm.
best. So it was tough, but I thought I deserved to be there. Like I never felt out of place in training and stuff like that. And then I think Sam Allardyce was obviously the manager, but Paul Ince came a few months before him, and he gave me a chance in pre-season with the first team. I was just turned 17, so that was the starter really. And then a few months later, he obviously got sacked, but he'd offered me a 3-year deal. So Sam Allardyce had just came in, and then I just signed that deal. And then obviously the reserves were having an 11v11, and he watched that game, and I impressed him. So the next day I was training with the first team, and I was traveling to every game. I wasn't making the bench. I was always the 19th man, but I was 17 years old, so I was proud of that, and
Mm-hmm.
I was making the bench for the cup games. So it all went really well for me, and it was a happy time. And then eventually we were playing a reserve game against Liverpool at Ewood, and I played really well. Yeah, I won a penalty and I scored as well. And then I just remember looking over, and I was getting taken off after 60 minutes. But then I looked to my left, and there was two senior players getting taken off at the same time. So I
Yeah.
had a bit of a feeling we're supposed to play Liverpool that weekend. So like I rang my mum and dad obviously after the game, and I said I think I'm going to be involved in this game at the weekend.
Yeah. Um. So what was that? I'll move on to that then. 17 years of age, making your debut at Anfield. That must be like something else. Like no one can really one and probably I don't know thousands could say
Yeah.
that they've experienced that. Like that's something else. Like tell me a little bit about that.
Well, on the Friday before we were playing, obviously Liverpool on the Saturday, but on the Friday, usually the younger lads have to set up some of the goals and stuff for training and stuff like that. So we were out and we were smacking balls about, and the first team coach, like he came out and he went crazy on me. Like he's like, "What are you doing out here kicking balls about? Like you could be starting at Anfield tomorrow. You're out here kicking balls." Well, I didn't think like I'm going to be starting or anything like that. I thought it could be
Yeah.
maybe make the bench. So that was surprising. And then and it started badly, obviously on the Saturday because my alarm didn't go off, so I missed. Like I was 20 minutes late for usually go on a walk that morning, so 20 minutes late, and I was with the first team. So they're big. The first team have big fines, and I was getting fined and all that. And it was a bad
Yeah.
start to the day. But then just got found out. Obviously, I was a sub. So that was the first time I would have been on the bench in the Premier League. Like I've been on the bench in the FA Cup and the Carling Cup at the time. So that and it was obviously at Anfield. And then just in the game, I think went pretty badly. Like Torres scored that goal. It was like the volley over his shoulder that went in
Yeah,
the
I
top
remember it
in.
very well actually, yeah.
He was on fire back around that time. So and then we were 2-0 down at half time, and I actually heard the manager telling the coach to get me warmed up. So that was a bit surreal.
Yeah, that's
Also
crazy.
the
Who would have been playing in that game in general? Like you mentioned there, Torres was Gerrard playing in that match.
Gerrard was on the bench. I don't know
Oh,
why he
was
was
he?
on the
Yeah.
bench, but they had big players playing. Like Javi Alonso was playing. Daniel Lager was playing centre half. Top quality players. So and we were obviously getting beat 2-0 when I come on. So I
Yeah.
just tried to get on and like try and impress as much as I could.
Mm-hmm. Um, you would have went on then to make a few more appearances. What teams would you have played against? And do you feel now looking back, being that age, like being so young, do you think that's like benefited you in the long run when you look back like to now?
Yeah, definitely. I played that was coming towards the end of the season. So as I said, I wasn't really on the the bench that much because we were still fighting for relegation. So I don't think Sam Allardyce really wanted to throw me in, like being 17 years of age. Because I remember the digs, like his name is Mick. He looked after us, him and his wife, and he come up to me one day and he's like, he used to always speak to the manager, and the manager was like, I wish I'd like thrown Aaron into like put him on or played him in one of the cup games, just because I can't really put him into these games. But obviously he had a change of heart because like for the next 3 games I was his first sub. Like I came on after 40 minutes basically at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, and then I was the first sub again at Etihad against Man City. So it was good times. Like as I said, we were still fighting for relegation, and we only got out of relegation in that game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So it was, as I said, it was pretty surreal times playing like in the Premier League at 17 years of age, but it was great times. And the only like I think I really should have kicked on the next season, and that's probably a bit of a disappointment for me. But as I said, I've played in the Premier League and I have all the memories forever. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's class. Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. My God, you could never really write that, could you? Probably like apart from United, really, you could say the 3 biggest clubs in England. Like John took away. It's mad.
They were all like it's strange because they were all away games as well. So I played at all like big,
top
like,
quality stadiums,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
good stuff. Moving on then a little bit. You've gone through 2 bad knee injuries. Talk to me a little bit about that. How difficult it was physically for you, but more so than mentally as well. How did you deal with it?
Just with the knee injury, like we played in the Scottish Cup final, and like I could feel a twinge in my knee, but nothing too serious. Like I played the full game, and then that was obviously the end of the season, and then obviously rested over the summer. And then I remember I brought my younger brother back to Inverness with me, like to do a bit of training and stuff before going into pre-season, and I was feeling my knee a bit more because I had these ladders that I was doing quick feet of, and I was struggling to do them. But still, I went into pre-season and I was doing really well. I was scoring goals every game and stuff like that. And then we were in the Europa League qualifiers. We're playing against FC Astra from Romania. Played in the first game pretty well. Should have scored 1, maybe even 2 goals, and then went over there to Romania and played in that game. I've played like 90 minutes, and then once that game was finished, like my knee was sore all game. I struggled to walk onto the plane, struggled to get back off the plane like after that. So, and that was me. I just said to the physio, listen, I can't jog on this anymore. So I went to the hospital in Inverness first for a scan. They came back saying, it's only bone bruising. But so then I tried to train again, then I couldn't. So they sent it to a specialist in London, and he was like, he's going to need to come down for a consultation. So I just thought I was going down, as I said, for a consultation, and we got into the office and he does a few things like test my knee out, and then he shows me the scan on his laptop, and he's like, listen, this is going to be a long time out for you. It's called a microfracture, like surgery that he does, because most of my cartilage in my knee had worn away.
Okay.
So he said, we're going to need to drill that, and then new cartilage will grow. And he's like, but I think you might need to get another surgery as well. Like you might need to pull your kneecap across, because I think that's what's doing the damage, because it's a bit looser than it should be. So we're going to need to pull that across and drill into that and use your hamstring tendon to tighten up. So basically, he just told me there, listen, you're gonna be over 12 months, and if you wanted, we're gonna have to do the surgery tonight. So it was hard to obviously take in. I was in the last year of my contract, and I'm getting told I'm going to be out for 12 months. So that was a difficult year. Like I was basically sometimes just going straight to the gym. I wasn't even going to the dressing room to the lads, because I didn't feel part of it, and I knew I was going to be out for the whole season, so I'm not really going to be involved. So I just felt like it was hard, but I got through it. So that's all that matters, really.
Mm-hmm. Like how, like see when you said you were sitting there and you're telling me he has to move your cartilage and stuff. Like and you said like you were on your last year of the contract at that stage.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
what's what's running through your head? It must be like so difficult, or your mind must be like on complete overdrive when you're thinking like I'd say it's like I'd say it was difficult for you physically, but I'd say mentally it's so challenging. Like,
Well, he said that to me, and the physio was sitting next to me, and I didn't really say. Once he said it to me, like I was pretty in shock a little bit, and I was quiet. Like the physio, I remember the physio tapped me on the back, like and saying, we'll get you the best treatment and stuff like that." But I was in shock and worried about what's going to happen. But as I said, the surgery went well, and then it's a hard recovery after that because you're stuck in a brace, which is straight leg. So you're stuck in that for 12 weeks. So you have to sleep in it. So there's no bend to your leg for 12 weeks. The only bend you get a machine that you put your leg onto that bends your knee for you, which is like 8 to 12 hours a day. You need to do that every day for 12 weeks. So it's hard. But as I said, I got through that and then came back and played for another 6 months and then done the exact same thing on the other knee. So yeah, that was really hard to take. And I went back down to him, the same surgeon, and he said it's going to be the exact same surgery. You're going to need both of them done again. And but it was a bit easier that time because I knew everything I had.
What you had ahead of you, type of thing.
Yeah. So I thought I could aim to get back a bit quicker, and I did. I'd done it all again. I got back after 9 months this time, so it took me 12 months. And obviously Inverness looked after me. After the 12 months, I could prove that I could run, I could jog, I could do all that. So they offered me a new 2-year deal, which, like as I said, that was really good because I don't know if any other club would have.
Mm-hmm.
So that was brilliant. And then for it to happen again after 6 months, they were probably saying, well, we shouldn't have offered them that.
Yeah.
But I got back after 9 months, and I've been back fit ever since. Haven't had any issues with my knees. I've done well over the last 2 years. I've scored a good amount of goals for the winger, and the only thing that hasn't happened is we haven't got promoted again, which we've been in the playoffs twice, so we're getting there.
Mm-hmm. Before we move on, I just want to ask, obviously that was a bad time for you, but like, what's actually involved in like the recovery and the rehab? I know you mentioned like you had to go on that machine where for 8 to 12 hours a day and stuff, but in terms of like, I don't know, what you done in the gym or what you done like slowly on the pitch to eventually get back training with the squad, like what was actually involved in it?
Yeah, so that's the first part. You need to get your leg to a certain degree for the surgeon basically to allow you to go on to start lifting leg weights. So you do that for 12 weeks, and if you don't get the range that's required, basically you need to go back down for him to put you to sleep and force your leg like into the position that you need to, so that you can start doing like leg weights. Obviously, because you lose all your quad. Basically, it looks as skinny as your calf. So
yeah,
you need to start building that up, but you can't do too much. So it's hard. You're basically just in the gym every day doing as much leg weights, squatting, and then like you obviously have to do fitness work as well. But there's not much you can do with your leg like that. So you're doing stuff on the rower with one leg. You're doing the arm bike. And these are really, really boring exercises, but you need to get them done because obviously you're immobile, so you're just going to start putting on a lot of weight. Probably did put on a decent bit of weight, but you get it off again when you're coming back running. But it was hard to progress from like being training every day and then going from basically sitting on a chair for 12 weeks doing nothing. So it's a tough recovery, but you have to get through it because I was only 23, 24 years of age, so I was in a good stage of my career, and obviously I got 2 years of that taken away from me. But I'm back fit now, and hopefully I'm still only 20, so I can kick on and see how far I can get in the game. Really.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll move a little bit on then. You've played in League One, MK Dons and Leyton Orient. You're currently playing in Scotland now. What I want to know really is what's a lot of people when they hear the League One, it's more so physical, and it's not. Is Scotland kind of the same, or what way would you kind of compare the two?
I think so. To be fair, it's more of a battle in League One, like you said, because when you're playing in the Premier League, like you get more you get more time on the ball. Like it's more about passing, like breaking teams down, and then you even notice that when I'm playing for Inverness, when I played against Celtic, like they stand off you. They probably think, listen, these are like Inverness, they're not going to be good. They'll give us the ball back, so they step off you. But when you're playing against anyone else in this league, like it's a battle. It's a high intensity game. Like you get people that come up here from England and they struggle because of the pace of the game and the intensity. So probably is a bit similar to League One at MK Dons. Like they play some good football as well, but we were in some battles, and I remember that helped me actually when I went back to Blackburn, because I had a good 6 weeks there, and I played a lot of games, and then I went to Leyton Orient, and they were in a relegation battle in League One, and that was like the pitches were terrible, and it was just basically long ball. But obviously there was a lot of quality in that league as well, because I remember playing away to Southampton, and they just passed us off the pitch. They had Lallana playing, Lambert and stuff like that. So it's obviously a battle, and not as much quality, but there's definitely a lot of players in them leagues that like have the quality to play in the Premier League. So it's just about how they develop really. But as you said, it's an intense league in Scotland, and people do struggle. So it's a tough one. But I've enjoyed my time here.
Good stuff. You're at Inverness 10 years now. You seem to be a fan favourite. Obviously, I know your brother Jay very well. I know you'd see him sharing a lot of your goals and stuff. Suppose, why do you think you're a fan favourite, and how much are you enjoying your time at Inverness since you started there a long time ago?
Yeah, it's been great. Like I'm settled here now, as you said, 10 years. So I think I'll have a testimonial coming up in the next year or two. Being here so long, but really enjoy my time. Some great memories. Obviously, the 2 knee injuries weren't the best, but before that, like you come into Scotland, get to play against Celtic, Rangers, 50, 60,000 fans, and we've had some success here as well. Like we've won the Scottish Cup, we've just missed out on the League Cup, and then we finished in European places. So yeah, it's been a great 10 years. I don't know why I'll be a fan's favourite. Maybe because most seasons I usually get in a few good goals, like goal of the month or something like that. I like to score a few like extravagant goals. So I don't know, maybe that, and then
you don't score too many tap-ins anyway.
No, I don't know if I've scored a goal inside the box. So yeah, I like my long rangers.
Good stuff. So we'll just finish off with a few questions and then we'll wrap it up. Really appreciate your time so far. We touched there on like a lot of things, like playing against Celtic and all that must be unbelievable. Like they're probably class as best fans in the world and all. So to play in them games, I'm sure it's just quality. Like
yeah, as I said, that's why I wanted to come up here really. Because obviously growing up as a kid in Dublin, you're either Celtic, Liverpool or Man United fan, and basically everyone over there is a Celtic fan. So it's a big thing, and to play at like Parkhead, it is something else. It's bouncing all game, and we've been fortunate enough to beat them there once or twice. So yeah, it's a great stadium, and the fans are brilliant. So any player playing there, it's a privilege, and hopefully that's the aim really. I want to get back there and play against Celtic again in the next couple of seasons.
Brilliant. Finish last few questions. Best player you've played with, and then best player you've played against.
The best player I played with is probably Guy at Blackburn.
Oh really?
Really,
that was the fellow with the long hair, isn't it? Is he Turkish? Is he
Turkish? Yeah. When I got there, he must have been about 33, 34. Like, and I was a kid, 16, like, and then I was walking out of his training ground one day and I could see him, and he'd smoked 30 cigarettes a day. Like, the most laid back guy you'd see in football. Like, he terrible at doing all the runs, like running pre-season and stuff like that. But then you'd watch him like on a Saturday and he'd control the home game. His passing ability was like unbelievable, and the goals, the volleys he scored. Like, I didn't know that before I went there. People kept saying to me, Guy is the best player you'll see. And I was like, no, I didn't really even know him, but definitely best player I've played with, 100%.
Some smoker, what?
Yeah, I don't know how he done it, to be honest.
Best player you played against then?
I probably have to say Torres when I played against him that time, like he was at the top of his game, and he was the goal he scored when I made my debut was like wow. So
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go him when he was at Liverpool for that first 2 or 3 years. Definitely say him.
He was frightening that season, wasn't he? When you think about it, like
Brilliant.
We'll go best stadium you've played in.
See, that's a tough one because I don't know whether. See, on the day when I played Liverpool, it was the anniversary for that Hillsborough, and the atmosphere was just crazy. It was electric. So maybe that just pips it because the fans were brilliant. But then it'd be followed by, as I said, Celtic Park, beautiful stadium, and again the fan base on both of them are similar. So it's hard. Maybe Liverpool just pips it.
Okay. Best manager you've played under?
I think that would be John Hughes. They call him Yogi Hughes. He came to us, and in his first full season made us finish third place, so European place, and win the Scottish Cup, which is a big thing for Inverness. They've only been going 25 years, so that was a huge moment, and he had us playing some unbelievable football. Like he'd do boxes every morning, possession, and I'm sure every player will tell you from centre half to striker, he made everyone a better player. Just the way he was, like the way he loved football, and the way in training, like he couldn't kick the ball over head height, so it was all about football, 2-touch below head height, and he just made everyone so much better. So I'd have to be him.
And how long was he manager there?
Well, he was there from halfway the season for, so a year and a half, and then 2.5 years he was only there. But as I said, he made a big difference to every player, and made us all a lot better at football. And it showed even the fans. We were under Terry Butcher the year before. We were more of we could go along. We could play football too, but under John Hughes, obviously, we just total football, and we had a good season that year, and sure teams noticed that we were playing some brilliant football.
Last question then. Best memory so far as a player?
Again, I think it'd be half and half on that, with my debut at Anfield and winning the Scottish Cup. That was obviously a massive deal for Inverness, so I can't really split them, to be honest. Like the feeling I get from both of them is similar.
Two quality ones, to be fair. You can't really argue with either of them now. I couldn't pick one that I choose over the other, but yeah, Aaron, fair play to you. Really enjoyed that one. Good speaking to you, and I hope to see you in action for Inverness really soon. And I can see you scoring an absolute belter, because that seems all you really score. So I'm looking forward to seeing a few belters from you.
No, my pleasure. Thanks a lot. Hopefully, as you said, we'll bang a few more goals in. Good man.
Good stuff. Fair play to you, pal. Right, I'll chat to you soon.
Right, see you later.
Take it easy, bud.
Bye.